I've always wondered to myself, is there something that helps the entrepreneurs that succeed that they have, which other entrepreneurs don't? Is it something they know? Is it how they run their businesses? Is it the people they hire? Is it where they went to school? Is it their socialization, their background, their education, their mental spaces? What is it that makes the entrepreneur succeed? Welcome to my masterclasses, where I share with you everything you need to know about how to become a high-growth, high-scale entrepreneur. I'm joined by guests. We break down the myths, the ideas, the myths, the legends, everything you need to know to become a high-growth entrepreneur. Warning, this is the High Performance Zone. So, maybe give you a sense of what I want to do next. I want 3 companies, must be running, to come and present to us their businesses. Must be running. Hey, you should see your eyes. Hold on. I'll tell you what the criteria is. So the first thing is your business must be running. And here is what we would like you to do here. The idea behind these pitches is you've got to walk away having convinced us that we should all buy from you, which means you've got to do 3 things, and just make a quick mental note of it. The first thing is you've got to give us a reason to believe. We'll call it an RTB in public speaking, a reason to believe. Why should I believe what you're telling me? The second is a reason to believe you. Why should I believe you about the thing you're telling me? And the third is the reason to buy. Okay? Okay, so Silindiwe from Welcome, and your business is?
Fresh Bator, but we have our first product called Poultry Box.
Say that again in English. Your business is what?
Fresh Bator. Fresh Bator.
Fresh but tall.
Yeah. No.
Oh. Fresh.
Just like abattoir, but you remove
Oh, fresh abattoir, like abattoir.
abattoir. Yeah.
And what do you do in your business?
So we are in the business of clean eating, responsible clean eating and convenience.
All right, we'll see how it goes. Hello, ma'am.
All right, Melang. My name is Sarah Siase. I'm from Bloem. What was the other question again?
What is your business?
My business, as I said before, is kids entertainment, specifically kids events and broadcasted kids entertainment.
Cool. And you, sir?
My name is Lerato Bereng. My business is Buikarabelo. What we do in the business is document and information management.
Right. Okay. So they're each going to get 2 minutes on stage, there or thereabouts. I'm going to give you some advice. Don't wallow. Don't speak too long. And try not to, don't do this. Don't hold your hands here. Don't hold your hands there. Speak frankly and candidly. Have a conversation with them. What you really are trying to get them to do is to leave here and go immediately to your business and buy. To remind you, you've got to do 3 things. Remember what the 3 things are? First, you've got to give them a reason to believe. Then you've got to give them a reason to believe you. And then you've got to give them a reason to buy. We clear? Guys, it's ridiculously unnerving being up here. So I want you all to be very kind. As you look at them, if they look nervous, just smile. It'll help them feel a bit better. Is that okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, dames and heren, I give you contender number 1, Silindiwe.
Hi everyone, my name is Silindiwe. People call me Lindy. I am in the business of, I'm a founder at Fresh Bator. So our first product is Poultry Box. I think a lot of students here know about it. So we are in the business of responsible clean eating, and we are in the business of clean eating, and my mind just but what we do is we essentially a meal kit delivery service. So we sell food to students, organic, and agroecological food. Yeah, so we sell is produced by local farmers, so we are connecting local farmers and their customers. So, what else do you guys want to know? Okay.
Cool. Are you done?
No, I'm not done.
No,
so
no.
Please go. Wait. We are on. Wait, don't come. Check our website out. We have an online store in postbox.store. We are on Instagram, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook. Yeah. So we are on Facebook. So if you'd like to place your order, we have at the moment we have 2 boxes. So you have a premium box that is for someone who eats a lot and likes it, and then someone who is trying to cut down. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook and
And ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 2.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, did you know that if your sales pitch or marketing campaign is obvious and people can see that it's marketing, it's a sales campaign? Number 2, did you know that family units, the common denominator in family units are children? Did you know that? And thirdly, did you know that Disney is the biggest player in our South African markets? All our children watch Disney. Try and watch TV with your kids, they're going to go to Disney, Jim Jam, or the other ones, Nickelodeon, and the other ones. And none of them are South African. And when we understand the value chain according to OTC, we saw, okay, the players there at the top are the ones that are in charge of some of the things that we're trying to do. I have formed a business called 21 Chunks. CIPC knows me as Dronix Marketing and 21 Chunks. Dronix Marketing is the company I established when I was with Wotabo at EDP. Now 21 Chunks targets kids. We do play and learning. That's what we do. And because our vehicle to the market, to these children, is a place called Babadi Park. Babadi Park is an event, I organize the whole thing. It's a park with all the activities. So that's how we differentiate ourselves. We want to make sure that the children in Bloemfontein and the surrounding areas know what Babadi Park is. I'm in the trenches. Nobody knows Babadi Park. You're the first crowd. I'm in the trenches building Babadi Park. When Babadi Park is ready, it's going to target children. The end goal is for marketing, in the business marketing side of our business, where somebody else will be in charge of that. I'm not busy with the marketing side of business, just in case. We will feed that business with access to markets through these children. My passion is children. And that's where I will play, that's where I am. So Babadi Park is our way to market.
Thank you. And with the A's on the voice, contestant number 3.
It's nerve-wracking to be here. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. There's notes that this one has to remember, but he apparently hit them, but I've got some here. Because I'd like to answer the questions that he spoke to. The first one was TRB, why should I care? Let me first introduce the business. The business is Wikabel, which means to be responsible for or to take care of. Now we are in the business of records and information management, and automatically that means being accountable and responsible for other people's documents and the integrity thereof. Why should you care or want to buy? Initially, when every single one of us is born, there's a document given, which is a birth certificate. Parents lose it, it gets misplaced, it needs to be replaced. In our form of business, what we do is we digitize, scan the documents for you, be it your child's drawing picture, the first one they wanted, be it your date of birth, your birth certificate, be it your ID documents, be it your will. So any documents that you need to be safe kept, that is what we do. That is the reason why you should care. Reason to buy, credibility. I decided to go into the business because I had been working in the same environment for 3 years. And I realized there was actually a gap in the market. There were clients that did not want to be tied down to a contract. There were clients that wanted to negotiate a better and cheaper price. There were clients that preferred not to work with conglomerates who are right at the top of the type of business that I'm in. Reason to buy. A lot of office spaces are running out of space. There is clutter. The buildings are leaking. At home, some of the documents are not safe. That is the reason why I would say you need to buy into that type of business. It's not we are not on social media because it is a specialized service. It is important for us to be able to go out there and to sell it to our clients and make them realize the importance of the business. Thank you.
Yeah, all three of you come up here. We're going to do a vote by popular. Is that okay? We have a prize for them, right, Muzi? Do we have a prize? Riho, would you bring up the prize for us, please? Round of applause for Riho. She's one of my team members. Okay, Riho, just wait on the other end. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you think contestant number 1 delivered the best pitch, please would you give her a round of applause? Come on, yeah. And for contestant number 2, and for contender number 3. There you go. Well done, Squire. Well done. So, wait. Can we, do you guys mind if we take like 2 minutes just dissecting your pitches? Is that okay? Yeah? Who has any thoughts and criticisms? You just want to jump. And remember, be kind, because some of you didn't have the courage to come up here. You first.
I want to ask about the burner business.
Yes.
So if the aim is to save documents digitally,
Yes.
why would I just not put everything on my personal Dropbox? It will always be there when I need it.
In individual cases, it's different case. And I think it alludes to what Musi was saying about when you give services. Because in this case, it's a solutions and service type of business. So if you want to archive your own personal documents, it's easier for you to put them in a Dropbox to keep your pictures on Instagram and so on. But if you're in a business, you're not always going to archive your documents on Dropbox. And the added service there is because we're able to come in and consult for you to be able to comply with the market and what is needed. So on a personal level, I can understand what you're saying, but when you're starting a business from inception with your CK documents, that you need to be able to archive that.
So the question you asked is important, and I want you guys to make a mental note of this. Always remember that anytime you're engaging with a customer, you have to be clear on what the burning platform is. Burning platform, burning platform. So in essence, what he was saying was, I understood the service and I get why you offer it. I just wasn't clear on what the burning platform is, which means maybe to refine your pitch for the next time. For me, what I would do is I would speak directly to the business person and the entrepreneur, and I would speak to the pain of not being able to find documents as and when you need them. Because any of us who've run businesses know how difficult it is to find documents when you need them, to know where what's saved under what, to create a filing system. But most importantly is the security attached to it, right? Nobody talks about that. Like, how do I make sure that if I employ a team of 20 people, that if somebody wants to access a document that I don't want them to see, I get notification first? Now, Dropbox Premium can do that, but it's also very expensive. And if I was you, I'd start talking about those as saying, these are actually the problems that we solve. That's the burning platform. Because immediately in the mind of the buyer, they either have the problem or they don't, which means they have a reason to buy or they don't, which means they want to buy now or they don't. Okay, cool. Any other feedback? Yes, ma'am.
I just had a comment.
Yes.
An opinion.
Yes.
So your business, I couldn't exactly get what you are doing, but from the gist of it, it's like you're delivering healthy food. People order healthy food from you.
Yeah, so what happens?
I'm done. I just want to give you a comment on that. Well, you could, for someone who wants to eat clean, but is too lazy to cook, the preparation part of healthy eating is a tedious part, and most of us don't do it. So if you're selling to me as a customer, maybe you could target that weakness, because most of us really do not want to prepare the food. We just want to get home, and McDonald's is the easiest thing to eat at the time.
Right,
So
I totally agree with you. I know also for me it's the same thing. But I think if you want to like follow a healthier diet, it takes so much effort to do it.
exactly.
And like there's nothing that comes out of, I mean, what am I saying? What I'm saying is
I'm
like,
just saying target those weaknesses.
no. Those are not the people I'm targeting. I'm targeting the people who are willing to invest the time into their health and their well-being. And if you are looking for like there are people who are offering those things. So you can. But anyway, if you want to, you can go on our blog and see how.
Can I jump in here? Jindu. What do you guys think is the question I'm going to ask? No. Say again? Yeah. What problem are you solving?
So the problem I'm solving is the high obesity rate and the lower productivity level amongst students. So this comes from eating unhealthy food. This comes from eating processed food, and yeah.
So the problem you're solving is students eating unhealthy processed food, making them obese, ergo, and therefore unhealthy, and then not productive. Yeah, so why didn't you just say that? Did she say that? Did you guys hear anything about that? I heard about a poultry box. Now, this is important actually. Lindy is a very good example, because remember I said to you before that we start this, don't presume that what you care about, the customer cares about. So what you did is you told us the things you care about, you told us the product you sell, because you've invested a lot of time in getting that product up and giving it a name. And so you feel like, I can't come here and not tell them, I've spent time on this. Except, how many of you here want a poultry box now? Yeah, see? Because what you haven't done is made the problem personal, right? What I would have done if I was you, I would have created the moment. Okay? You guys ever watch clientele ads? Yeah. What does clientele do? They create the moment. If your loved one dies, now there's someone being buried, there's a person crying, they literally create the moment. That's what I would have visually created the moment. I would have said, do you remember that one time you fell asleep in a lecture hall? Because you ate something that was so heavy in your stomach you couldn't keep your eyes awake. And everybody has fallen asleep in a lecture hall because they either had inkomazi or something that was too heavy, and now, or you ate samp in the morning, right? Because if I make it a lived experience for you, now I've got you, now you're listening. Make sense? Right, cool. 1, 2 more criticisms. Yes, ma'am. I see 1 or 2 at the back. Not criticisms, feedback. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Hi, I hope my voice is audible enough. Okay.
It is now.
Okay, mine is just a matter of presentation, and I want to understand from you, Vusi, the power of presentation. Because now as the student funding us and presented their businesses to us, if not, no offense or anything, but like if you're not confident in your product or in your business, how do you expect somebody else to buy into that? So I want to understand, is the skill of presentation for your business very important?
Yeah, it's the most critical skill.
From business to business.
I'll tell you for free, the single most important skill you can learn if you want to lead people is to communicate. If you can't communicate, you can't inspire. You can't inspire, you can't lead. Name me any leader you know about that's been written or spoken of who was a terrible communicator. Not ever. So let me give, if you want, I can quickly give some feedback. So the first thing not to do is to move up and down. When you're speaking to people, the more you move, they focus on you moving, not what you're saying. Stand still. And the easiest way to stand still is put your feet shoulder width apart and your hands right next to you. It's very simple. The second thing not to do is when you're holding a microphone is not to move it up and down or to knock it or to do this. So the fidget is the real problem, because now we all go to this thing you're doing. All of you here have a thing you do when you're nervous. You're just not aware of it. Some of you do this, some do this, some of you kick something. But when you're nervous, in effect what happens is your body creates energy. That's really what's happening. The energy feels like anticipation, and it usually comes from your stomach. That's why you'll hear people talk about butterflies. So the energy feels like anticipation, and it comes from the stomach and it works its way up. That's why it feels like butterflies, and then your voice trembles. Yeah? All you're trying to do when you're fidgeting is your body is saying, find an outlet and let it out. That's why you're doing this or this. That's it. So the first thing to do when you're presenting is to be cognizant in your mind, I'm going to be nervous. And then, and try this, take 5 seconds and center. I was doing it outside before we came in. The young lady who was with us, can't see her now. But when Utabo was doing the intro, I just stood and I looked down and I closed my eyes. 5 seconds of nothing. Because what happens in that time is your body has to calm down. You literally just calm yourself down. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, contestant number 3. Brr, pink. Don't do that. Just stand there, hold the mic and just look at us. Just 5 seconds. Let it happen. Usually what will happen is the audience will smile, the energy will be calmer, and then you start. Okay. One final note. One final note. And so, kanda, cause, words not to use. Okay? When you are, do you know why human beings use words like or and, or what's the other one? Basically, literally, you know. Do you know why people say that? You don't? Yeah, in your brain, what's happening is your brain is processing the information you are going to communicate next, but is cognizant that it is communicating information as at current. And your brain is saying, you're going too fast, please slow down. It needs a filler. So your brain fills that filler up with a word you like to use. Which is why you'll be talking to someone and every second sentence they go, literally, basically, kinda like, you know. It's nothing more than the brain going, oh my God, slow down. I'm thinking. So the minute you find yourself using those words, it's just your brain going, you're going too fast. Slow down. And keep quiet. It's allowed. And then say what you want to say. Make sense? Cool. 2 or 3 more, guys. Then we've given the prize, we have to close. I can't take you, I want to take the guys at the back. Yes, the lady with the cap, who's holding a flask and whose eyes we cannot see.
Okay, so I'm nervous, but I'm going to try to give my feedback. So the lady with the kids' playground, so I'm giving you feedback as a mother. If you do not say the 3 words, like safety, education, and what's the other one? Fun. I will not go anywhere. I will not pay you for anything. And I will pay any price if you say those words to me. If I believe that my kids are going to be safe, if I believe them in your sport, and I believe that they're going to gain some educational input, and I believe that they're going to have fun, I will pay you any amount. Just give them. So if they're going to be presenting to me, I think to any parent, it's best that you mention those words. You don't care about all the other stuff.
Wow, that's really good feedback. Yes, of course you may. I don't think we have a mic, but please feel free to speak up.
Okay. You know what? Obviously, what do you do when you feel like saying, "Come see my business plan" and all of that? Every single word or every other word is fun, entertainment, kids. But yeah, I take that. Thank you very much. I agree with you 100%. Fun, education, and safety.
One last comment from somebody at the back, but you are going to have to speak up and maybe yell at us, if you will. Shall we take one from the lady who's married?
I just have a question for the guy that won.
Yes.
You spoke about saving stuff on the database. I just want to know how safe is that database and where does he store the stuff that he's saving them for my business? Because it must be a lot of documents. So, and who can access them? Is he the only one that can access my stuff, or can anyone access my stuff?
When we take on a client, there's a confidentiality clause that we put in place, all right? Being a small business, obviously, I have to work with the likes of Metropark, for example, like I explained. And they are the people that actually, once we've scanned the documents, and they can also confirm the document integrity. We then give over the documents to them on the external hard drive. They then store it on their cloud. And we then give you a certificate saying your documents, me and Metrofile are secured. And the only people that have access to those documents is yourself, unless you authorize somebody else, obviously through writing that that person can also access the documents.
Cool. Thank you, Squire. What? Are you guys unclear about something?
Yeah, I just want to ask him something. So, Lerato, there are logging details and controls to actually access those files. And then what happens, you always at some point forget our passwords and stuff.
Yeah, there's what you're referring to is electronic document management system. It's different to giving me your documents, I scan them, and then I archive them. What you're asking for is a system completing. So end-to-end product. You give us the documents, we do them on site, we load them onto the system. That way there's a software in place. That way you've got a password and you've got a backup person that can be able to access them. If you can't access them, you let us know. We go into the system and retrieve the password so that you can be able to create a new one.
Isn't it interesting, just by sheer, what's the word? Random nature, I suppose, of the universe. You guys know about the theory of chaos. You know about the theory of chaos. If you ever watched the movie Jurassic Park, there's a part where, the very first one, there's a part where Jeff Goldblum, who plays the mathematics scientist, speaks about the theory of chaos. And he takes a drop of water and he drops it on his hand and he says, watch the direction it falls. Then he takes a second one and says, watch, same drop of water, same spot, falls in a different direction. The idea behind the theory of chaos is even if you controlled the inputs, the outputs are almost always determined by things you can't dictate. It's just the way the world works. What I was trying to say was, random, we ended up with 3 completely different businesses, right? So, I hope you guys have learned a bit about presentation. For free, I'm going to give you this final piece of advice on presenting. 7 minutes. That's all you get. 7 minutes, the first 7 minutes of any meeting is the only time you're going to get to communicate the reason to believe you, and the reason to buy. You have 7 minutes. If you can't communicate it in the first 7 minutes, usually the rest of the meeting is people just being polite. That's it. Because the rest of the meeting takes on one of 2 directions. It either takes on people going, we are so unclear about what you're doing that we need you to start again and explain it to us, right? Or people going, I got it, but explain to me the nuances and the details. So that's why that first 7 minutes is so critical. When you're getting ready to pitch to a client, to a funder, to a potential partner, that first 7 minutes, guys, you have to prepare. And you have to script it. The best people who do this, write the thing down, word for word. Then you memorize it, word for word. 7 minutes, this is what I'm going to say, right? Leave slides out of the picture. Slides, guys, support the presentation. Slides are not the presentation. Because you all start slides, and the first slide is we were founded in 1992. Now, in a 7-minute pitch, why are you telling me when you were founded? You have to learn to answer questions that are important, not the questions you think I need to know. If I want to know when you were founded, I'll read your CIPC documents, and it'll tell me the date on which you were founded. That's not important. What I want to know is why you, why the thing you're telling me, and why now. And in that first 7 minutes, that's all you need to communicate. That's all you need to communicate. Credibility is important, because without credibility, the product is not something I'm going to buy. The need for the product is important, because if you don't tell me that, then I'm not interested in it. And if you don't tell me why I've got to buy now, then why are you wasting my time and telling me this now? Tell me in 2 years' time when I need it. Okay? If you're in a sales cycle, it's really important. Spend your time on clients that are going to buy now. Any of you here who are entrepreneurs and have employed salespeople, you'll know that notoriously what salespeople will do is they'll fill up a list of leads with all the leads in the world. That's not really what you're interested in. You're interested in the lead that's going to buy when? Now. Okay? Thank you for your time, guys. Don't leave your gift. Don't forget your gift.